Okay, so my spoiler review for Captain America Civil War. If you have not seen my non-spoiler review for Captain America Civil War, I'll put a link about here. Hopefully I'll remember it. If not, it'll be on my channel. Just go look. Alright, so those who are still here, you're going to get embraced with all the spoilers. Alright, so I'm going to start with the villain, played by Daniel Bruhl, Baron Zemo. If you've seen him in the Avengers cartoon or you've seen him in the comics, I'll throw a picture up right now. He looks ridiculous. I thought when I heard Daniel Bruhl joining Captain America Civil War, I'm like, oh no, how are they going to do this? How are they going to do Baron Zemo? And they did him really well. They didn't give him a fancy costume. They just gave him, alright, your jacket, you got your jeans, you got your hiking boots. Time to go cause chaos between the Avengers, because that's all he wanted to do. He knew that, he knew what Loki and Ultron and all those other villains didn't know. He knew that he couldn't beat them, but he knew that they could beat each other, so that it's tough to draw a comparison to that, but it's easy to see how that works, and it's a smart plan. And I liked how he said, at the very end, when Martin Freeman said to him, how does it feel that your plan failed so spectacularly? And he's like, my plan didn't fail. And you're like, yeah, his plan didn't fail. All his plan was to do was to break up the Avengers and make them fight against each other. And he did it well. He showed that he made what his actions, the catalyst that he had, that caused, Bucky to get his arm ripped off. War Machine, he's now paralyzed. Hawkeye, Falcon, Ant-Man, and Scarlet Witch all ended up in a prison because of what Baron Zemo did. And that was amazing. I would have, however, liked to have seen Baron Zemo's ties to Hydra a bit more, rather than him just being some sort of Sokovian guy from Sokovia that is he knows about Hydra and he knows about all these secrets and he knows how to find the places and he's from Special Forces and he was just able to do that and that and that. Spider-Man, oh my gosh. Spider-Man, amazing. Well, I liked the reference to The Empire Strikes Back, because when I saw Ant-Man turn to Giant Man, I was like, alright, and I saw Spider-Man swinging around him, the only thing I thought was Empire Strikes Back, and then he brings it up and you're like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Spider-Man's kind of like the relatable guy in this movie. You're like, alright, I understand what Spider-Man's doing. Keep doing it, you're doing good. The fight scene at the end, the opening sequence of Bucky killing that car, when I first saw it, I'm like, oh, is that the car crash that killed Howard Stark? And you're like, oh, that's really neat, that's really cool. And then they revealed it in the movie, and you're like, oh, and you see Iron Man there watching it, and you're like, oh, this is going to kill him on the inside. He is dead. Because they showed that traumatic sequence in the very beginning where he's looking through his memories. That was the side where I meant you can sympathize with Tony and you can sympathize with Cap. I sympathize with Cap more because I went in as Cap, I came out as Team Cap. But I saw Tony Stark's side and I'm like, you know what, I wouldn't be surprised if someone went for Tony Stark's side. One more thing, Martin Freeman, he was such a big deal in the casting and stuff, but now he's not. But when you're watching a movie, you're like, no, he's not. He's in there for 3 scenes, and that was it. Sorry if the camera angle has changed, my camera died whilst filming. Anyway, the last thing I wanted to talk about, the airport battle scene, oh my gosh. Probably the best scene, fight scene, action scene, any scene in any comic book superhero movie ever. If not, it's definitely in the top 5. You have so many heroes clashing, like I said. The awesome part with Spider-Man's taking on Winter Soldier and Falcon, that was just awesome to watch. I would have, I'm really hyped for the new Spider-Man movie if they keep within the same tone what he had in fighting. I don't know what it was, but I felt like the character Black Panther in that fight and Black Widow, who wasn't really in that fight that much, they weren't that as interesting to watch in that fight because their personalities, you either saw them a lot in the movie or their personality wasn't really highlighted, where Black Panther was all serious and trying to kill Winter Soldier, and Black Widow just kind of stopped Black Panther from doing that. But Giant Man, oh my gosh, Giant Man. Ah, that was so good. I knew it was going to pop up in the movie because, Lego sets. But, oh, he was, that Giant Man. Oh wow, that's amazing. Anyway, those spoilery thoughts on Captain America Civil War. Like the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to become one of the Platypus, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.